Hello folks, welcome back to the Little Shop of Horrors. I'm the idea man, Carl. What we're doing today, we're gonna make a downspout, just like this. And as you can see, I don't know who made this downspout, but the way they made it is they did a fold back here on both sides and then put another piece on the inside. We're not going to make it like that. We're going to make it like a piece of ductwork. And we're going to have a Pittsburgh on it. But anyway, I'm going to show you how we do that. First thing we have to do though is, if I can find my book. Stuff gets lost in here real easy. Excuse me. I'll take my book and we're going to measure this thing out. So what we'll do, we'll measure the sides, and that's 4 inches. And we'll check the other side and make sure that's covered. Theoretically, it should be, not always. So that's 4 inches. That being said, we 4 by 4, and the front is 5 1/8 at that area, and this is 5 1/16. Little red bug right there. It's 5. I'm gonna call it a 4 by 5. So what we'll do is we'll make a little drawing. Buckle coming in. 5 and 4. We did say 4, I think. So we're going to use the Pittsburgh machine, so we have to add these numbers up. So we've got 4, we got 5, and 5 is 10, and 4 is 14, and another 4 is 18 inches. Now with a Pittsburgh machine, we got to add 1 1/4 inches. And what we do is we take a 1/4 turn up, and then the Pittsburgh itself takes up 1 inch. So we got to cut a 19 1/4 inch piece of metal to make this downspout. So that being said, we'll move this out of the way now that we've got our measurements. And there's a piece of metal that I brought in yesterday. What we'll do, we've got to set our slitter up to 19 1/4. Test to see if this doesn't come all the way across. I add a piece of metal down here to catch it, so that piece don't fall in the floor or pull my measurement off.
Carl, how long is this piece?
10 foot. Oh. By the way, this is a 4 foot by 10 foot sheet of metal. Now, what we'll do, we'll lay this out so we can run it through our Pittsburgh machine. And what I like to do too, when I ran this through the slough, this was a milled edge right here. I always like to mark it, and I'm going to show you in a minute why. And I always take a look at my I'm running through the machine now. Okay. Oh, thank Paul. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this around. And the reason I'm turning this around is when I bring my Pittsburgh machine up here, I want to put my Pittsburgh on this side. Of course, it's always good after you cut a piece of metal to check and make sure that you cut it right. And it's dead on 19 1/4. That's what we wanted. A little fat, a little small, it's not going to kill you. But anyway, now I've got my milled edge on this side. When I run this through the Pittsburgh machine, I have to run it face down. Pittsburgh is going to be on this side, and it's going to take up 1 inch. And then I'll measure off of that. But I want this milled edge, because sometimes that edge right there, when you cut it on a slitter has a tendency sometimes to cut a rainbow in it. And a slight rainbow, but it could be a little bit off. That way, I'll have anything that's off on this side, which is not going to hurt anything. But I don't want it to be over here because I might not have enough to turn because it's only 1/4 to start with. So now we're going to go back and I actually have dual purpose on this Pittsburgh machine. I made this top because I don't use it all the time, and I can actually put stuff up here. It saves room. So I'll take this off, and then what I do is I used to lock the wheels, but I found out that really wasn't necessary. So what I've been doing now, I'm going to move this stuff out the way here. I'll show you a little. Anytime that you can save time doing something, it's pretty valuable. So I'll take this board and put it right here. And when I bring my machine up, I don't have to lock the wheels in place. Because that piece of plyboard, it's a piece of 3/4 inch plyboard, and it acts like a stop. And it actually works better than locking the wheels. I put these wheels on this so I could move this around the shop. You can see right there, and it ain't going nowhere because you don't want this thing to move while you're in the middle of running something through it. Now, what I'll do, I'll plug this in. And as I stated before, you'll see that when I go to put this in, Pittsburgh's going to be on this side. And the machine does all the work, which I like because I'm lazy. This is how your duct's made in your house. If you have metal duct work, a lot of times they make it with a Pittsburgh machine. Once that's done, we'll move this out the way. And by the way, I'll tell you something else too. My Pittsburgh machine, the belt on it is backwards. It's upside down. What happened is my pulley up in here, the side of it got cut off by the belt running over it. And that's been running like that for a long time, and I'm not going to fix it till it breaks. Okay, so now we'll lay this out, and always go back. I'll tell you a big mistake that you can make with this if you're not careful. And I did it one time, and I actually ended up making a bunch of downspout that was wrong. Anytime that you have a downspout that's two different numbers, like a 4x5 downspout, what you want to do is take your drawing that you made, and what I do, I take my drawing and I come down here, and then this side here will come up and do this. Now I want to make darn sure, so we're going to lay this out from this side, which is right here. So we're going to start with this 4, because this comes up. When this comes up, this does this. So I'm going to start laying out from right here. We're going to go 4, 5, 4, and 5. And we'll have a quarter left over. So what we do, I'll take my magic marker. And it's good to use a stick rule, because a stick rule is pretty accurate. Unless you get over here where you can't see that number. See if this other side looks any better. And my brother taught me years ago, if you buy a stick rule, get you one with the inside numbers. Because if it reads from the outside, you wear the numbers off of it, going in and out of your pocket. But anyway, when I put this on there, I want to make sure that I got a 1/4 of an inch past my, what was that, 18 inches? That was 10, 18. So I got to be 18 1/4. So, and like I say, this, if you look at that, that's hard to read. But what I'll do, and make sure I got, it looks like, now if you look here, on this, right here, you can see that I put this on an angle, and I'll show you why. Because if I come here, I'm at 18 1/8. So what I'll do, I'll go up a little bit at an angle till I'm at 18 1/4. Now, I'll come in here and I'll start marking 4. 4 and 5 is 9. And tell you something else you can do. I don't like to move my ruler once I start measuring. So when I get set up, that's my 4. I'm only inching 18 1/4. So I got 9. So what I do, I take a calculator. So I got 4 plus 5. That's 9. That's 4, 5, and 4. Now I'm at 13. So see, I didn't have to move that tape. And then I go to 18. So a lot of times if you move your tape and do this, it throws you off a little bit. But if you put your tape down and you leave it there and add them up, it works a lot better. So anyway, what we'll do now, we'll go to the other end. mark this one. And what we did 18 and a quarter. We'll get our 4, 9. I ain't mistaken, that other one was 13. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go to 18. And that gives us our quarter on the end. And that's why we did the milled edge over here. That's why I marked it. Because sometimes you start spinning these pieces around, you don't know where your milled edge is. But a quarter is a lot easier to make on a milled edge. Sometimes you can't help it. If you get 3 pieces out of a sheet, then you have to use this center sheet. So you just hope that it's fairly close. So now, what we're going to do now, we're going to put her in the brake. I got to spin her around because you got to work out of your brake. I got to do the quarter first, and then we'll walk across with it. I'll bring this blade down right on this dot. Same thing on the other end. Watch your leg. Come up a quarter of an inch. Come up on a 90. And I have a mark on my brake. I got a black mark right here and a white mark there that usually I'll come just about to it. And that's a 90. Now I'll pull this out, go back to the other side. And this is going to be our 5-inch mark. Looks like our plastic stuck down here. Ain't no big deal. How you like me now? So, we're going to come down on this dot. But as I told you before, you got that dot. If we'd have had a crow's foot there, and I can't, I used to use these all the time. You know, we do something like this, like a mark like this. And you had to hit this. Well, if you come forward, you didn't know whether you was on that point or not. You see what I'm saying? And that's why a dot, you got that dot there. You only have a little bit on each side. So what I do a lot of times, and you can see if you look back here where that dot was, it's almost dead center of that dot. So with that being said, I split this dot, and if you look up there, normally, sometimes I'll walk right here and I'll look, and I can see black from here, and I'm at the middle of my brake, so it's locking pretty much where it's supposed to be. What's up? So we're going to break this on a 90. Can you pause that? Oh, no.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to our other marks now. Matter of fact, I'm going to take these off. Now we'll drop on this mark. Leg. This one gets a 90. We got one more break. This one's a little difficult to see. You got to kind of bring your arm down and then find your dot and split it. Yeah. Same thing on this end. All right, so we on the money. Now, this is our last break. This one is a little precarious. You got to come up because it's going to hit the brake here. And now what we do is I let that hang. We got to push this down. And then we come up right here. And I come back up here to see my mark where my 90 is. There it is. Done deal. And that, my friend, is that's that downspout. A little cleaner. I've got to move this piece of metal. Come around over here. That we put up because we got to bang this together. This is the fun part. So what we do now, that little Pittsburgh that we had, got to put that 1/4 inch piece in there. That's another thing too. By it being straight, it goes in there a lot smoother than if it was the cut side. So now that that's in, let's see. Always use a set of headphones to dead the noise a little bit. Take this stick here. We fold this piece up. Alrighty. That's just about it. What's that old song say? That just about does it, don't it? Now, here's the fun part. We got to make this downspout look like that one. So what we do, and the good part about that is we got an example to go by. So basically all we got to do is open this back up, take the pop this out, lay it down and put the cuts in the same place. So let's see what we got. Come here.
Carl, why are you doing that?
I just said it. I just said it before we did. We had to take it apart.
Okay.
Didn't you hear me say that? Yeah, because we got to make this the same way as the other one. So what we'll do, we'll take the piece that we just made and we'll set that here just like this. Now, actually, very close to 10 foot, so they can cut that off if they want to. So now, how's your time? That looks like about 2 1/8. Come over here, 2 1/8. basically just connect the dots. Now, we'll roll this over on the back side because we got a boot down here. We'll come right here with that. Line that up. Mark here. Mark here. Now we can get the old one out of the way. We'll work on the new. So I'm going to take this over here. Oh, what we'll do is just get us a little hole in there where we get our snips going. I'll go back in and pick up a couple pairs of snips. Harbor Freight snips, by the way. You know you got a good pair of snips when it'll cut through that much metal. I have me a little sheeter right here that I use. Thought I'd show you guys this when I make my pieces. I like using something like this to kind of get me in the right direction. And what I'll do on this too, I've found out that a lot of times these they they don't have very much lap at the bottom. I always like to get me a pretty decent amount of lap. And as I said again, I mean, she's a little tough to cut, but I tell you what, these snips do a pretty good job. I was pretty impressed, to be honest with you. And once you get a cut out, I usually take a screwdriver and put here in the base. Let's see. I gotta have this on the inside. See, a lot of times you can, if you take something like this is what we're dealing with. So this tells you that this needs to go on the outside. So you don't want to put it on the inside. And that's a little something I keep around to help me get the flow right. So anyway, there's the boot. And we'll put a pop rivet in that, and I'm going to take and move this over a little bit. Make a mark across here. And what I want to do is cut some of this out for water flow, so it doesn't restrict the water from flowing down there. So there. tool. Senior moment. Like I say, I like to get a good lap when I turn that down here at the bottom. A lot of people will cut it off straight, and you don't have a whole lot of material right there. A lot of people will ask you, well, how do you know which set of snips to use? And I'm going to show you here in just a second. As you can see, when I'm using this one, it pulls the stuff up. If I was to use this on that, anyway, I get them in there. So sometimes it's like a hit and miss. I couldn't really tell you which one to use, but when you start using them, it's pretty easy to figure it out. That's like this side right here. You can see how that's cutting. I would not want to, I couldn't use these over here because they won't go over to the line. So just a little basic snip 101, I guess you could call it. Now that right there is what you call a large alligator too. See that? And they will bite you if you're not careful. Now that real thick spot right there, I do have a pair of snips if I can find them. Okay. Oh man, I feel like I'm coming down with something. little thick area right there. When you have to turn it, I like to cut it with the hacksaw a little bit. And it's a little precarious, so you got to just kind of deal with it. Be very careful that you don't cut through the bottom of the other one. But anyway, we got it. I'm going to spin him back around. Now, what I want to do, I got to get this piece right there. Turning that little thick piece that out could pose an issue, but we got it. Now, like I say, I always like to cut a little bit of this out. Get some good water flow. Alrighty, that actually takes care of that. And if you got you could sticking up a little bit, tack handling. Be careful that you don't want to bang it up too bad. So that's the finished product right here. I will tell you folks, if you do a lot of pop riveting, this is a good gun to buy right here. And Colleen will come down here and show you these pop rivet shanks that I got under this table. I don't know how many is in each one of these pretzel jars, but all of those are pop rivet shanks. And there's actually about 5 of those jugs missing. When somebody broke in my shop, they stole them. But I have shot, I don't know how many, it's hard to say, but that one gun shot just about all of those pop rivets. And folks, that's all today on how to make a downspout. Thank you. See you next time.